So Ethan Klein is in trouble yet again, and my kid is turning on a truck as I start this video. Wonderful. And as for the titles of my videos, this is the second time I'm doing this. I'm just gonna make like innocuous titles, something that I don't know, it's kind of like what Moist Critical does with his videos, where it's like you see the title and you go like, oh, this might be a video about him getting a new dog, or it might be about him buying batteries at Best Buy, for all I know. So anyways, I'm not out to get people that are like just people going in like, oh, here's this guy's opinion on this topic, let me check it out. Just like, if you want to watch this video, you want to watch it. So expect innocuous titles from here on out. Anyway, Ethan Klein and his mouth and his ability to not pre-tape stuff and have to do a live show, and I'll get to that in a second, got him in trouble again. And this guy just, it's like, it's almost like every other month he says something so cataclysmically stupid that you wonder how many times he can say things stupid and not stay afloat. But again, I don't care if he floats, sinks, or swims, whatever. This is something that, in the world of the internet here, is this just like just words, or is it something more serious? Because when he threatens someone to use a bomb at an NRA convention, now we all know, looking in, that we don't seriously think he wants that to happen. But on this other hand, he said it. So terms of service are, you get punished for what you said. It doesn't matter. There's not a clause where it says, oh, but you retracted it right away. There's nothing like that in the YouTube terms of service. For those of you who don't know, by the way, I should say, during his live show last week, Ethan Klein was talking about the NRA convention going on in Texas right after the Uvalde school shooting. And he was saying, someone should bomb that convention. Like, it just in a serious voice, he goes, oh, okay, I'll walk that back. But it's like, you know, the videos that now been taken down, YouTube has suspended the show for a week, or just any upload on that channel for a week. And some people are saying, like, you know, this is outrageous. It was a clear joke. He doesn't really want people to die and suffer in a bombing. But this is the thing. It's like, you know, well, why should YouTube have to use discretion with this? Because the rule is the rule. He said what he said. How could he not, or anyone not, expect punishment to come from this? You know, I mean, not to make this about me, but I'm making an example of how this happened to me. I made a video 2 videos ago, I don't know when it was, like about 10 days ago, anyway, about me getting suspended on Twitter. And I've reappealed that strike that I got, and it's yet to be either said it's denied or rescinded, whatever. But a tweet that I got penalized from a previous instance was one from years ago that it just popped up. A couple months ago, I got flagged for it because I guess the system all of a sudden decides to be retroactive with its punishments. Kid. Sorry. He's trying to, like, stab me. I know, you're trying to stab me with a tractor. Speaking of, I don't want to get this video pulled. You can't have violence on YouTube, kid. Anyway, I had a tweet from, it was like 2017, I want to say it was. The football player Dez Bryant was trying out for, when he was let go by the Dallas Cowboys. He's a wide receiver, and he was trying out for a job, to get a job on the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they didn't want him. And I tweeted out, I said, trying to think of exactly what I said there, but I'll get the exact, what actually got pulled for. I said something like, oh boy, Dez Bryant can't even get a job on the Jacksonville Jaguars. He should jump off a bridge. I said something like that. Or I said, imagine not being able to get a job in the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'd jump off a bridge if I couldn't do that. Like something along those lines, inferring that, like, you know, oh, he's so bad he can't even get a job on one of the worst teams in the leagues. I'd jump off a bridge like that. Now, obviously, I don't think he should jump off a bridge, and anyone reading that would think, like, I don't want him to literally off himself from existence. But I understand why the rule why is the way it is, and I understand looking back on that, and I was like, oh gosh, that wasn't that nice of a thing to say. Because, whether you like it or not, and that I don't think you don't think that I really want him to do that. But the thing is, it is making light of people offing themselves by jumping off of a bridge. It's things, there's many things in life that I've stepped back on, like saying something like, if I don't know, some like evil criminal or whatever got like locked up for killing his wife or whatever, and he was speaking about, I want, dignity or something. I would say things like, screw him, he should be raped of all his dignity. Like, using a word like rape for something like that, I would use that a lot more liberally in the past. While it is grammatically correct to use that, and it is, a proper functioning sentence, do you have to bring up that word? Like, does someone really want to hear that word if they've been through that in life? And I know people are going to be like, oh, well, people are too sensitive snowflakes or whatever. But you know what? Just evolve. If you could say something that isn't going to upset someone, and it is going to upset someone, then don't say it. So there's things like that I've stepped back on in life, which is where the bomb thing comes in with what Ethan Klein said. It's like, you just don't go there. You just don't say that. Like, why would you say that? So there is a little piece of me that thinks, like, he wouldn't want a building like that to be bombed. But if it did, let's just say he would be a lot less sad than a school that got shot up. Now, granted, children versus adults getting harmed is a completely different thing. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. With your tickle belly. With your tickle belly. Anyway, I'm done playing my kid for the video. Or maybe not. You just don't go there and say things like that. Like, even in a joking manner, because honestly, there's a good chance, not a good chance, but there is more of a chance now that someone would cause physical harm, specifically at an NRA convention, from someone that has just had enough. And it's like, why in this day and time would you even mention it, even in just some morbid joking fashion? Like, why? Which brings me to the point I brought before of him having to do this show live. Like, why is H3 and Hila and all of them doing a live show when you can walk something back on this? Like, do you have to do like the chat, the sub only chat and stuff like that? Like, I watch their shows not as regularly as I used to, but I like to say I catch at least half of them. And from what I see, there's barely anything that benefits from being live. Like, occasionally they'll throw out a poll or something to the chat room. Very infrequently are they recognizing super chats or anything like that. So it's like, why can't you just pre-tape something like this? There's nothing crucial for it to be live that benefits the viewers live. And on top of that, if you film it right then and there, you do the 3-hour whatever, and everything's fine, just put it up right away. So it's like, at the worst case scenario, your news that you're reporting on is 3 hours old. I mean, like, why do they have to do a show live? And this is a perfect example why, and a number of times, and a number of mistakes Ethan has made that could have been just completely not seen by anyone, if other than the people that were there, if it wasn't live. But anyways, that's his show, and for whatever reason, that podcast has to be done live. There's no other way other than doing it live. And granted, there are times where he does do pre-taped episodes of the H3 podcast. Show with Hassan that's not live, I don't believe. But anyway, the Leftover show. But anyways, the fact is that none of it should be live. I mean, it's nice that you give like your subscribers, your sub-only chat room or whatever. But again, how often do they reference it? A lot of times you just hear Dan in the background saying like, oh, the chat doesn't like this, Ethan, da, da, da. And that's like basically the only time you hear any sort of live interaction from the audience. Anyway. So, is this whole thing with Ethan Klein, this whole hubbub with him saying the NRA convention should have been bombed, should be bombed in a just dark sense of humor, joking fashion. Is that an overreaction by YouTube, or is it just something like it's the rules? It's the rules. He got punished. He deserves to be punished. Now, as for the people taking it too far, like the guy calling the Department of Safety, which I don't even know if that even, like, I'm not familiar with the department structure system in Texas, if that covers the police department, I don't know. But there's a guy, a NRA guy, who called the Department of Safety in Texas and filed a formal complaint against the H3 podcast and Ethan Klein for saying that the convention in Houston, Texas should be bombed. I think it was in Houston, wasn't it? Yeah, it was in Houston. Anyways, like people like that, it's just like, oh, okay, like, relax. Like this, using the time and efforts of actual community services is for actual emergencies and stuff that, you know, deserves and warrants punishment from the law. What did you really want to come from that? Like, do you want Ethan really arrested? And then Ethan is bringing up points too, like he's saying things like, you know, these people are the first people to call other people snowflakes, and then they're getting just completely offended by what was a joke. Now, granted, I can understand the conservative side of things being upset, because it seems more often than not, and I know people can bring out an example here or there, but it seems more often than not, if I'm going to be fair, and I am much more liberal-minded on things than anyone else could tell you about, it really is a climate online of conservative speech being stifled a lot more than liberal speak. That's just how I see it. If I'm being honest to you, and again, I agree with very few issues on the conservative side, but if I'm being honest with you, I can understand how conservatives are upset of saying, like, this guy gets to say that our convention can get bombed, whereas if we made a joke about that, we would be crucified to infinity and beyond. We'd pass Buzz Lightyear on the way up to our end. So I understand. I understand the conservatives being upset here. But I don't know. I think what was done was fair. I think some people are taking it too far on the conservative side as well. You guys look just as laughable as those you're making fun of. Some of you. But yeah. Again, it's just like, oh God, that's one of the few reasons why I even give Ethan the time of day anymore, is like, I just want to see what finally ends this guy. Like, it is just an evolving car wreck. That car just keeps flipping over and flipping over. It's like, is it going to stop flipping over? It just keeps flipping over and flipping over. It's like, how many times can that car flip over till it just disintegrates? And it's just like, again, it's the Schadenfreude in me that likes to see the mighty fall, which I'm going to talk about Russia in another video coming up soon. Anyway, stay tuned for that, and you can imagine. Okay, here you go. Name the title of. I'll let you guys name the title of my next video about Russia in the quote unquote war with Ukraine. You can leave a comment about what you should think that title should be. You can just make it just something like completely as innocuous as you see the title here is. Anyway, Ethan Klein, it is incredible, and it does make you wonder how much YouTube is going to stick up for this guy in the future as well, because they seem to have his back for the most part. I don't know, I thought maybe this wasn't this like his third strike or something, like, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I think that's everything.